Welcome back. Good Monday morning, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Maria Bartiromo, and it is Monday, October 7th. Your top stories right now, 6:33 a.m. on the East Coast. Concerns about U.S.-China trade impacting markets this morning. Futures indicating a decline at the start of trading, although we are off of the lows of the morning. Dow Industrials down 90 points right now, 1/3%. S&P down 10, and the Nasdaq lower by 25. Stocks rallied Friday following the jobs report. The Nasdaq was higher for the week, but Friday's gains were not enough to bring the Dow and the S&P 500 out of negative territory. As you see, the Dow down better than 1% for the week. The S&P down almost 1%, and the Nasdaq down 2/3% on the week. Global markets this morning look like this. European indices are higher across the board. FT 100 is up 8 points. The CAC 40 in Paris is up 12, and the DAX index is up by 40 points. There are more signs of a slowdown in Europe, though. Germany factory orders out. They declined 0.6% in August, more than expected. Orders from inside Germany dropped 2.6%. In Asia overnight, markets finished like this, and of course the big story is China this week will meet with the U.S. on Thursday to resume those trade talks. China and Hong Kong still closed for the Golden Week holidays as they celebrate 70 years of communist rule. The markets there will open on Tuesday. Our top story this half an hour, the Ukraine fallout. Attorneys for the Ukraine whistleblower now say that they are representing another whistleblower with a complaint against the president. I spoke with Senate Judiciary Chairman Lindsey Graham yesterday on Sunday Morning Futures. Are these all whistleblowers about one phone call that he had with the president of Ukraine, you think?
I don't know, but remember Kavanaugh. Remember Kavanaugh, it started with one complaint that wound up being unverifiable. 5 more allegations came after that. What did we learn in Kavanaugh? That they were coaching witnesses and they were piling on to try to create an impression that Judge Kavanaugh was a flawed human being. Yeah. Does this second whistleblower, if there is one, are they within the intel community? And what is it about the intel community and Trump that is so off base here? And did Schiff do with the whistleblower, the first one, what they did with Kavanaugh witnesses, coach them up?
Joining me right now is Axios White House reporter Elena Treen. And Elena, it's good to have you this morning. Thanks very much for joining us. You know, Senate Judiciary Chairman Lindsey Graham just made an important point that he said yesterday. He said, why does the intel community keep going after Trump? And what I'm wondering is there any relationship, is there any connection between the whistleblower and the group that staged a coup in early 2016 to take the president down? Because it's all the intel community, which of course was headed by John Brennan.
Right. Well, it's unclear. As of now, I definitely do not know the identity of the whistleblower or the second alleged whistleblower as well. So that's unclear. I'm not sure how many people know the identity. My reaction is, I think that you know, with what Lindsey Graham's point, the senator's point, making about relating this to Kavanaugh and to the intelligence community as a whole as going after the president, I think it's the same line of defense that the president used, you know, definitely throughout the Mueller report and through the Russia investigation, trying to discredit the intelligence community, discredit the people that were coming forward. We're seeing the same thing now with this whistleblower. And it's unclear, I think, that what will happen moving forward with regard to if he will be identified. They're not supposed to be. But if it does end up being the identity coming out and someone releasing it, there were reports last week that Breitbart might have released the name. It's unclear whether there might be retaliation. We're seeing a lot of Republicans using that line of defense again.
I don't understand what we're blowing the whistle on. Can someone explain what we're blowing the whistle on? Because we have the transcript from the phone call between the Ukraine president and President Trump. So
people
what do you guys think we're blowing the whistle on?
I don't get it.
What are we blowing the whistle on?
I mean, you're a president of the United States of America, and you're talking to a country that has corruption. Why would you not be able to talk to them about anything that has to do with corruption? I don't care if someone's running for president or not. That shouldn't make any difference. And the fact of the matter is what's sick. What's so sick is that there's no Democrat. I've not heard one single Democrat say anything negative about Joe Biden and his son taking all this money. And that's because all of their buddies are coming into office poor and they're leaving rich. And the American people aren't stupid. They see this. You follow the money trail, and it's obvious. It's right there. Why does no Democrat want to know about about these people taking all of this money from a guy who's been convicted of drug use, kicked out of the military, and the President of the United States is not supposed to dig deep into that?
Yeah, and not only that, but don't forget that the origins of the Russia probe, which of course sparked this 2.5-year hysteria that the president colluded with Russia, the beginnings and the origins of all of that nonsense started in Ukraine. Okay, so I can understand the president saying to the head of Ukraine, "Hey, do you know anything that's going? You know how this all started?
A new political
and
environment.
What's wrong with that, by the way?
There's nothing wrong with that, Maria.
What is wrong with that?
He wouldn't be doing his job.
He wouldn't be doing it at all. He wouldn't be doing
it. It was a cloud over this president's presidency for the first 2.5 years, even though it wasn't true.
You can't turn a blind eye to it. And Elena, I would ask you too. When is there going to be at least somebody taken to task with respect to all this coaching that's going on, which is clear? I mean, whether it's Christine Blasey Ford, whether it is in the case of these whistleblowers that are out there. I mean, what about some of this coaching that's going on clearly behind the scenes that's tainting or at least modulating some of these messagings we're getting from the people that are blowing the whistles, as it were?
I'm unclear of any coaching on behalf of, I'm not sure if you're referring to lawmakers.
No, what we're referring to is the fact that Adam Schiff went on television and said this: we have not spoken to the whistleblower. We would like to speak to the whistleblower. And he said that officially he had not spoken to the whistleblower. And then we found out later that the whistleblower actually contacted his committee and spent time with his committee before making the complaint. So in that 18-day period, were the Democrats coaching the whistleblower as far as how to present this complaint, speak about this complaint? Scott is spot on.
Well, so from my knowledge, yes, the whistleblower did reach out to the House Intelligence Committee prior to the complaint being filed. From what the Congressman Adam Schiff says, that it had not met before it was filed, but there are a lot of questions there, and I know a lot of Republican lawmakers are planning to look into that.
So he did reach out to the Intel Committee, but they didn't meet?
That is the line of Congressman Adam Schiff. I am unclear of what communications and the extent of the communications, but they were aware that there was a whistleblower ahead of time, as according to the reports, but there was no contact or meeting in sense of physical in-person meeting or coaching from the lines of what you're saying. It is unclear,
I don't know that to be true.
Area that a lot of Republicans
we do not know that to be true.
It seems like there was an awful lot of communication, like you said, Maria, over that 18-day period, absolutely, to where the message was at least somewhat crafted and refined as we got to the American people, which Adam Schiff said, no, we hadn't talked at all. We didn't communicate at all. That wasn't true.
Exactly. And by the way, this is the same individual, Adam Schiff, taken, as you pointed out last week, who said that there was collusion between Donald Trump and the Russians in plain sight.
After the Mueller report had been already delivered to the Justice Department and after at least the summary had been released by Attorney General Bill Barr. Quickly, if I can ask Elena, Joe Biden over the weekend wrote, he was trying to kind of defend himself, wrote an op-ed that was in the Washington Post that said, Trump won't destroy me and he won't destroy my family. But there was one word that wasn't in, based on when I read it, that wasn't even in that editorial, and that was Ukraine, which was a little odd.
I know that Joe Biden, when he made that statement, I know that his advisors and the people on his campaign were trying very hard to walk a fine line between looking tough, which he was criticized as not looking tough enough, or fighting back against the messages against him and his family. But he didn't bring up Ukraine. I think they're trying to do this little dance around what's going on there. And there is a lot of concern on the campaign that regardless of whether the allegations are true or not, that just hearing the words Joe Biden and corruption in the same sentence is going to taint his candidacy. And I'm interested to see when more of the polls come out over the next few weeks after what's been going on with this investigation, how this is affecting the former vice president.
Well, the China gig was even better than the Ukraine gig. I mean, the Ukraine gig, he was getting $50,000 a month, right?
For 5 years.
5 years. Okay. 5 years, right.
So this is Hunter Biden getting $50,000 a month from Ukraine for 5 years. And then the China gig, he went to China on Air Force Two with then sitting vice president, and then got, what, $1.5 billion?
Yeah, exactly. I get bigger economy, more opportunity, ripping off the U.S. more. Maybe that was the whole opportunity here.
But Elena, I can't let this segment in without asking you. I've looked at dozens of reports of everyone saying the same thing, that Adam Schiff's staff met with the whistleblower before and never told anybody about it. This was weeks before any of this came out. So how can you sit there and say that you don't know if there's any coaching or if he even met with him? I just don't understand.
And then I don't think the whistleblower told the Inspector General.
Yeah, he never told the Inspector General that.
There's that too. Go ahead, Elena.
No, so from what, and I'm only going off of, I don't know what happened in those weeks leading up. All I'm going off of is the same thing you are, which is those reports and what the Congressman Adam Schiff had said. And he said that they had never met. I do think that the intelligence community Inspector General, he had all of the facts in front of him, so he has a lot more information than I do, and I have to show some humility in that. Yeah. But he found the allegations of the whistleblower to be corroborated and to be an urgent concern, and so that's what kicked off allowing the whistleblower complaint to come out, allowing the memo of the call to come out.
Yeah, and of course the president releasing the transcript. So the more whistleblowers about a transcript that's already released. Elena, thank you. We will see you soon. Elena Treen there. Coming up, the